Well, welcome everybody tonight to our Thursday night leadership call. It would be our Thursday night 6 o'clock Zoom. My name is Troy Drollinger, and we are going to talk tonight about the call on Saturday, actually. We're going to go through a couple things. We're going to actually have one of our social media guys on tonight, and he's going to talk a little bit about some easy steps to go through on how to invite through Facebook, via Facebook. Because, you know, it's really important as we're looking at January. Everybody knows it's real close. So we really want to be aware of how we're able to really bring more people in, right? And how we're able to share the basically of who we are. Because, you know, it's some people think, oh, you're that health coach that sells Medifast, or you're that health coach that always is a food Nazi. They're always watching my food. So really, we want to be, we are Optimal Health Company. So really what we want to do is we really want to talk about transforming people's lives. And interesting enough, I just actually got off a Zoom call with one of my coaches and their clients. And, you know, we were talking about, you know, you talk about healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finance, and you really find out where a person's really at and what they're wanting to create. So really the call is designed this coming Saturday, really about that, about, you know, where the person was at in their life and where they're at today. And, you know, we want to be definitely the company that has, you know, get out of that equation of, hey, we're a diet company, or you're that weight loss company, because we're trying to get away from that. It's important for us to really focus on the different things that we can really help people with. You know, you think about the habits of health, right? And how important that is, because if they're using only 1 tool in the toolbox, maybe that's the Medifast food, right? But they're not utilizing the rest of the tools. Maybe they're not utilizing their coach. Maybe at the beginning, as that new coach came on, they never really understood of how they're able to share with that new client all the tools. So, you know, we kind of look at all these things and think about what we can ourselves create and what kind of legacy we want to leave in becoming a coach. And of course, we're here because we want to change people. We want to help people change and show them what they can really have in their life. And so, you know, it's really important to really understand on the different things that we, on a weekly basis, daily basis, what we talk about and how we share the mission. So let's do this. Brian, you there? I don't know if Brian's there or not. He's supposed to be there. We're supposed to talk together on this.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So Brian, as we are talking about the call this week, or I should say on Saturday, let's get kind of your take on, first of all, I want to kind of get a show of hands. I know I can't see everybody on it, but I want to see a show of hands of who listened to the last transformation call. Okay, so most, well, I did. Okay, can't see everybody. I want to hear from a couple of you what you took from it, and anybody can talk. So you unmute yourself, and I want to hear what really you guys thought. Go ahead, Ivani.
I like the variety of people that we heard from, and anywhere from a real professional person, doctor, to someone that was really having a problem in their marriage, in their life, in their finances. I thought that it was great because it showed a variety of people that we can help. It doesn't matter if you are successful in this life with other things. This is something that can help you be successful with yourself and your body image, and then help others. So that's what I got out of it.
Good. Thank you for that. Anybody else have anything to kind of add with that of what they took away from the call? Come on, don't speak up at once. I hate when you guys are just all there. Well, I'll tell you what, one thing that I really took away from the call is that actually Dr. Joe at the last one, I thought that was so cool because really where he came from, I mean, financially, it really wasn't that, hey, I had to become a coach because my finances, I was at a 5. He did it because it saved his life. It changed him. And, that's the power of really what coaching can do is you can help others. And it doesn't have to be, well, I did it for the money. Well, no, you really, and this is the thing is we look at coaching, we do it because we have a passion to help people. This is really about helping people and showing them what they can really have. After you've gained your health, you want to be that 5 times likely to get the weight off. You want to help people because it feels good to you inside to really pay it forward to somebody else that might have that heart attack or might not be there tomorrow. So, it's great to really be able to pay that forward. Brian, you got anything to add with where I'm kind of going with this?
Yeah. Well, so the call is designed, I think Vane was saying, different people, different walks of life. It's designed to basically communicate with all people that are on the call. So we're going to have different stories on there, different attracted to different people. So, like you said, Dr. Joe at the end, he really didn't need the money, but he wanted to pay it forward, and it helped his life. So we have some people in there that really needed the money, and they talked about that. But we're actually, this call is going to be a little different. We are going to start pretty heavy on the physical transformations initially, and which we heard from a lot of people that we really want to talk about the trilogy. We want really to especially at the beginning talk more about the physical transformation. So we're going to have Shirley Mask on there, who lost 200 pounds. We're going to have Ron Gels. So we have Ron Gels, I think, lost like, what did he lose, 80 pounds or something. But so we have different groups of people. We have Doug and Tia Wood. So we have a little bit younger as well as older, and I'm trying to think of who else we have. We have another doctor on there that's going to be on this week. So to basically lend credibility to what we do. And he, I think himself, lost 60 pounds on our program, and then has a lot of patients on there. And he was, I think, one of the stories he told. I had never really met him before, but I saw a story, a call that he did, and a Zoom that he did, and he talked about how he didn't have the solution for his patients, and now he does. Also, he wanted a plan B. He says, like most doctors in America today, they want plan B. And so we're going to, like I said, we're going to cater to different people, different groups of people, and whether it be age, whatever, whether it be people that maybe are already making good money, that just want to pay it forward. We really have that with the trilogy. We have everything for everyone. You think about it. There's really no one we can say, well, this is not going to help you. There really isn't. You think about all the people that we have. So when you go in and start and thinking about who to invite, please don't prejudge, and please invite those people that you want to work with. How's that? Somebody you don't want to work with? Okay, fine.
Well, hey, Brian, that brings up a good point. You look at people you want to work with. So, you guys kind of think about the people that you bring into your organization, as in when you bring that brand new client in. You can be picky in who you bring in. I mean, you don't want to bring in somebody that's going to just make your life a living. You know what? Because of the fact that they're going to be, they're going to nitpick this, nitpick that. And, you always want to think of the people you want to surround yourself with. And I think that's important to, really understand. When you bring people in on the call on Saturday, that's something that you want to, you kind of have your, almost you have your top 10 list of people that you're gonna basically say, okay. And I think it was
Margaret McGrath talked about that on Monday night.
Well, didn't Batashevs did too, correct?
Batashevs
on Monday. I thought it was Monday.
They're on here tonight, but
yeah,
no, she talked about someone she had on the call that that she hadn't talked to for a while, that actually signed up as a client and a coach.
Right. But the thing of it is, I think with her, when she was talking on the leadership call Monday night, what's interesting is that we never think about just a call being that much of a difference and being that much of a difference for a person. So, it's people are, they're searching for something that's bigger than them, right? They're always searching for something that is going to really guide and assist and help them in a way that they have optimal health, or even close to it. And we look at all three areas. So just like what Brian was saying, we're looking for basically people that are looking for us in a lot of ways. I know you hear that a lot, but there is things to be said about really looking for the understanding of where that call can take it. And even after the call, look how many times you can share it recorded. I mean, I've shared it a ton of times with people throughout the week after the call, and I got a lot of good feedback, and it's follow-up too.
And the other thing too is just going back to, who you invite and not to prejudge. If you think about this, we got 70% of Americans that are overweight or obese. That's 7 out of 10 people. So the person on your right and the person on your left is going to be overweight. Okay? Probably looking for something, especially coming up in January. People, it's in their mind. They're thinking about that. Next, we have less than 20% of the people in America that even like what they do for a living. 20%. So that pretty much, and if you look at the other 70% of the people that are not overweight, does it really mean that they're healthy? No, I'd probably say less than 5% are healthy in America. I was skinny up until I was 30. I wasn't healthy. Okay, so you have those people. And then you have people that do make a lot of money, but they have absolutely no time to enjoy it. I want you guys to think about those people, though, because a lot of times when we think about those people, we think, I don't want to approach them because I'm too afraid of what they're going to say or whatever it is, right? We don't want to sponsor up. We want to sponsor up. We want people that are better than us. Trust me, we want people that have different qualities than we do, so we can continue to move this forward. And then you have people that do make good money and have time freedom, and there's probably 1% of the population. But see, when I say we have something for everyone, this is something that I find interesting. Most people in that category, if they knew they could actually pay it forward and help other people and they can leave a legacy, most of them aren't leaving a legacy. They're lacking in that department. So in other words, 100% of the people we have that could use one of three, if not all three areas of the trilogy. So do you see what I'm saying? I mean, it's very important to understand where you come from before you start inviting people and what you actually have. Because when you start going out of your comfort zone and you start inviting people, and by the way, inviting people on Facebook, how simple is that? And we're going to talk about that a little bit later here. But how simple is that? And when you start inviting people, what I find interesting, when you hit that invite button and you start looking through the people, it starts the wheels turning. You start looking at people and you're going, oh, I haven't talked to that person for years. Or, man, that person was on our program, but they lost some weight, but now I wonder where they are right now. Because most likely, if they lost weight in our program and they're not using our program, they just use the product as a diet, most likely they're gaining their weight back. They're probably heavier than they were. So you have what I call an advantage there, because you've got somebody that's struggling that needs your help. See, and that's the whole thing about this is having the right posture. knowing that you have the goods, that you have something that can actually help them. You're not doing this to try to get them into something. You're not doing this so you can. Now look, all of us have our different goals and dreams, different things we want to do. And mine was, I wanted to make money. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But if I had that in my mind as I was talking to people, and I did initially probably a few times, and that did not get me where I wanted to go. It has to be about them. It has to be what's in their best interest. It has to be us finding out if there's actually a fit there. That's why it's so important to ask questions. But going back to Facebook, Facebook's just going to jar your memory. You're just going to look through all these people. Most of us have hundreds of people in Facebook, and a lot of us don't even have half the people that we know in Facebook. So it's going to start thinking about stuff again.
Let's get a show of hands. How many of you, and I know everybody's not on, but I can't see everybody. How many of you have invited people to the call, Saturday call on Facebook? The invite. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay. I see more hands. Good. Okay. So
Troy, how many of you have more people to invite on Facebook?
Oh, everybody does. I think you could max out at 500. I'm not sure. I'm maxed out. So I think that's actually, you know what? We have Ben on. He's our social media guy. And Ben, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So Ben, let's, I don't see you. So I don't see you. Where don't I see you? Where are you at?
I don't have my video on.
Okay.
Okay.
So Ben, let's just tell us a little bit about, first of all, the importance of maybe how to share it.
Well, there's a handful of different ways to do this. If everybody has a Facebook page, the best way to do it is to start with sharing it on your Facebook page. So when you share to a Facebook page, you then also have the ability to share from that page to your personal profile. What this does is it allows you to kind of get a sense of how many people are actually seeing that content that you've put on there. Otherwise, you have very little ability to know how many people saw that information that you were sharing. So, and it looks like Troy's kind of doing an example there. But when you share that content to your audience as a person, as opposed to your page, your reach is impacted by the people in your personal audience. The page will track those results. So you'll be able to collect data. That's really what the page is best used for, collecting information about your audience and about the people that are following.
And Ben, one thing is real quick, and I don't want to get too far ahead of everybody, but Ben is talking about, and this is something that we won't go into really that deep, but like, I don't know how many of you guys have subscribed to the Habits of Health Connection, which is a page that I started 6 months ago. But this is something that there's Habits of Health class that we do every week. That's just something that we do as Coach to Health, which I think everybody is in here is on a Coach to Health. So what I did was I put the basically the Habits of Health. I'm sorry, from Dr. Anderson. I put it on my page, and then I can share it on my profile. And the nice thing about that is that there's some stats that you can cover, and to where you can see the progression of who's not who's looking, but your audience and who's really interested. Maybe it might be a demographic of women 35 to 65. Or men 40 to 65. So it's, and I know there's quite a few of you that do have a Facebook page, but the best way, and this is one thing that if you don't have a page, then that's okay too. You can actually, and this is one thing that I wanted to kind of go through, is that through the Habits Health Connection, everybody can still from here to their profile if they don't have a page, or to their page to the profile. So if you kind of understand the lingo of that, what you're trying to do is basically collect data. Is that correct, Ben?
Yeah, basically what we're trying to do is expand our total reach. So if we were to look at Dr. Anderson's reach for this post, this event, it should be astronomical, because it's been shared on a lot of different areas. And so that all of those shares should impact the total amount of people that have seen this invite. Okay. Obviously, we want to go through and invite people personally using the invite button there. Okay, and that's still a very useful thing to do. So you can go through there and invite all of your friends, or as many as it'll let you. Generally, it's 500.
Now, one thing for you, Ben, why do they max us out at 500?
Part of the reason is events are never intended to be all-inclusive. When Facebook set up events, it was to be for smaller groups, and it wasn't intended to be for, you and your 5,000 friends. Mm-hmm. They have another product for that that's reserved for very high impact, highly followed profiles. But for the standard event information, they don't let people do more than 500.
Right. Okay. Now, how many people, and I can't see anybody right now, but how many people are basically using this in the sense of you're going from here, taking it and sharing it on your profile, or sharing it on your page? I can't really see you guys, but I guess I can't see really anybody right now. So if we look at this, guys, and we look at how we're wanting to basically get this out more, right? I mean, we see 205 people are interested, 338 going, 11,000 are invited. And realistically, we should see 100,000, 200,000 invited, thousands going and thousands interested. Now, the one thing is the way to build this, and really the way to kind of take this in a bigger form, is to, first of all, say you're going, but second of all, invite up to your max of 500. If you don't have 500 friends, invite all the friends that you have. So the biggest thing here is that this is just one form of a way that you can really reach more people. Anything else to add, Ben, on that one?
Yeah, just a reminder again here, and you did it from the Habits of Health page, is once you have your page all set up, you have the ability to spread the news way further than just your personal audience. You can spread that using a promoted post to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people. And for a relatively small amount of money, you can do that. And so those promoted posts have the ability to be targeted to people that could be your next client. And when you target those things like that, you're going to get really good results. You can see that this page only has 700 or almost 800 now, I guess, people following it. And he reached over 1,600 people on a promoted post. And it has generated new likes for his page. It has generated likes for the event. And it has generated a lot of views for the event. Now, if we were able to review Dr. Anderson's results and see what he was seeing, it would probably have been viewed by several 100,000 people by now, because there are other people that are posting this event in other areas and other social media forums and reaching a lot of people, frankly. And some of them are even promoting it and paying to have that reach expanded even further. So keep that in mind as you manage your social media accounts. There's a lot of things that you can do to get more attention for your stuff.
Okay. Hey, Brian, you got anything to add on this part of it? Or are you there?
Yeah, basically, I mean, I've been kind of just watching it so far. I don't have a business page yet. Just kind of looking at it and also kind of filling out the leaders of what they want to do. But I do like the idea. I definitely want to reach more people, and I know it's not that expensive to boost your page and stuff. I'm still looking at what kind of results we can get from this. But no, I like what I'm seeing so far. So right now though, why what are some things we can do right now? I mean, obviously, if you have a business page, you could boost it a little bit with just a few dollars if you want to do it that way. Some people, that are watching this are going to watch the recording of this, may not even know how to share it, because we're going to have people at that stage as well. How to share it or invite, and how to look, at what people are actually getting on there. Just some of the real basics. Do you want to go over those? Just to give them an idea. I mean, maybe the ones on here all are doing it, but I don't know.
You want to do that, Ben? Are you still there?
Yeah, I can share my screen and kind of show how that works.
Let me go out of mine.
And we are sending an email out that kind of talks a little bit about some of that, but we're doing that tonight. Actually, Charlotte is doing that tonight.
And again, guys, some of this is it might be just a hair overwhelming, because some people, when we talk about Facebook, it's like, oh, Facebook, oh, that's like, I don't know if I could do that type of thing. So, we are trying to get this to where it is more, eventually it's going to be more streamlined, and it's going to be more natural for when a person comes in, or a new coach comes in, or even existing coach, to where these are some of the formats are already there. So because social media is so big, you can really expand and grow your business in a really huge way. Ben, did you leave us? Or are you still here?
No, I've shared my page, or I'm sharing my screen with you in theory.
No,
No?
I don't see it. No, I don't see it. You got to go to the bottom. There you go. Ben started sharing screen. Now I see you.
All right. So I've got the Habits of Health connection up right now, and I can jump over to Action for Health, which I think I'm actually going to do a different way. You'll pardon me. I manage a lot of accounts, so I'm going to use Angela's account, Angela Jordan, and I'm going to share the content from Habits of Health. Now, I've already shared it once previously, but I'm going to navigate to Habits of Health connection. So I am now behaving as Action for Health. And the way I did that is I used this little caret right here. And instead of using Facebook as Ben, I selected the page that I wanted to manage, and I am using it as that instead. So now I'm using it as Action for Health. I'm going to scroll down here. I haven't shared this recently, so I'm going to scroll down here to the event. I can do one of two things here. I can go to the original post that was posted by Dr. Anderson, or I can simply push share. And then I'm going to click instead of share public, I want to actually say something. I encourage you always to say something. Don't just share a link without having a commentary on it. So you'll click share, and then you'll say whatever you have in mind. So this event is going to be such an inspiration. I hope you all can make this call Saturday morning. And then you could always throw in the optimal health hashtag. There's other things that you could do to make it reach a few more people.
Talk about hashtag, Ben. Talk about how that really relates, so people can kind of understand that, because you explained that to us like a week ago or so, and it takes a little bit to get used to.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and share this on her page right now. It's been a couple days since I last shared it, so we should be good, and it shouldn't be too annoying. So I'm going to share this, and then I'll show you exactly what hashtags do, okay? So I'm going to bounce back to the, the Action for Health profile here. And you'll notice that I have some links now created by those hashtags, okay? You can tell because the little button, your arrow turns into a finger, and the hashtag itself gets underlined. Okay. Now, if I press inspiration, click that like a link, you'll see that there's a whole bunch of new posts that have inspiration in the title as a hashtag in there. Okay. If I were out there just searching the internet for content specifically about inspiration, and I would do a search for a hashtag inspiration, and I would see all of these posts from all sorts of different people, okay? And this works for both individuals and pages, but all of this information means that you're being seen by people that may not even be following your page, okay? It means that people that are scrolling through this trying to find inspiration are seeing your content in that list. Now let's go ahead and bounce back and do the same thing for Optimal Health. Okay, Optimal Health. We see that there was Optimal Health shared by Action for Health by Angela yesterday. And again, back on the first day that we shared this. And then there's some people, I don't know if this person's on the call, but I would guess not at this point. But here's someone that's sharing optimal health information. And here's some more. And more. Lots of people sharing that using that hashtag, okay? So that hashtag tells people that it could tell them that you're part of Take Shape From. It could just be information like Dr. Anderson here. It could just be information that other people are trying to tag and leverage that optimal health phrase. But in any event, your content can be found using those hashtags. So using hashtags can actually be a huge benefit to how you get reach. Okay, in this circumstance, I don't know exactly how much reach we're going to get with this. A lot of the times when you share a link from somebody else's page, the Facebook's algorithms will give it less reach than normal. But given that we've used a couple of hashtags in here, maybe we'll get a few extra and it might get picked up and shared by somebody else. In this circumstance, now that I'm behaving as Action for Health, I'm going to go ahead and say, I now want to behave as Ben Anderson. Okay? I am now going to just be myself as a human being, not as a page or a business. And then I'm going to go back to the Action for Health page. And now that I'm behaving as myself, you can tell by the information up here, I'm going to go ahead and, in order to help improve the reach of this, I'm going to share this on my own personal profile. Okay, so share it to my own timeline. I'm going to share it to the public, and I'm going to say something about it, as you should always say something about it. Success stories from this group are incredible. Financial and healthy success can go hand in hand. Learn more this Saturday morning. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and post that, and that's going to my personal profile. Now, the impact on this will be tracked on the page, on the Action for Health page. So in the event that the 600 friends that I have on Facebook see this, that's going to impact the numbers that we see down here. So this post reached 77 people, and it was shared by a whole lot of nobodies. Okay, but me sharing this post right here will impact the reach of that dramatically. Okay, so the previous one that we posted on Action for Health only reached 7 people. It was also shared by nobody. Okay, now we get to find out what the impact of having one share from one person has on a post like this. Now, if Angela was to go and post this to her personal profile as well, it's going to impact the reach. So this is where you can really leverage all of those personal contacts that you have from the various networking groups that you're part of, and kind of push them and engage them in an effort to make your event get more reach just by pushing the share button or like or comment. Okay, all of those things will help improve the reach. And so that's the impact that you can have. And those are the steps that you would take to try and get that exposure that you want for this.
So everybody, I know that's quite a bit and through what Ben went through, but I thought it would be good to basically kind of have him on and just kind of give a little crash course of really the impact we can make, because myself or Chris or Brian, 3 of us can't really make an impact, right? But if we have 100 and everybody's sharing and everybody's basically inviting people, how much bigger can it be? So, you look at where social media is going, that's kind of where everybody's going. You look at a website. Who looks at a website really anymore? People look at social media for their news, for everything. So we're just basically starting to come in the 21st century, myself anyway, and I know Brian is the same. We're starting to come into that to where we can really make a bigger outreach of people. Because if you look at, myself, I have a client in almost every state. So I want to outreach and help a lot of people. I'm not going to go to each one of those individuals, but in a reach of Facebook and different things, that way it can help more and we can really spread the word in more ways. You got anything, Brian?
I'm really looking at it, trying to figure it out. I'm still probably back in the 80s myself, but I've I need to get with the times, and I do see that. I mean, one thing I've seen from Facebook so far, and like I said, I don't have a business page yet, but I'm looking at doing that. Is it just a great way to reach out to a lot of people that you don't know? One thing I would be very one thing you really have to understand, it still all comes down to relationships. So it's not just like you just sit there and click buttons and do this and do that and you're going to get people. I mean, you're going to need to private message people, get on the phone with people. You're still going to need to do things that will require you to actually talk to a human being. Now, one thing that I do know, and I have seen already from these calls we're doing, is that they work. And people can get on the call that maybe you haven't talked to for years and could be like, you know what, sign me up. I want to do this. So with that being said, I think we have something very powerful here with the combination of a couple different things.
And one thing too, Brian, that Brian and I have been talking about and that we're going to be doing is we're changing how we're going to do the call. And this is something that's going to happen. Did we decide in January, Brian? Is that right?
Yeah, probably. I don't know yet exactly. But we're going to.
Well,
when we have this call, we'll have this on an MP3 as well. So.
Yeah. So it's going to be, what I'm saying is it's going to be more streamlined. So it'll be really, really plug and play easy going into first of the year, we're going to bring things back around to where it makes easier for you guys to share. In all aspects. So, we are all getting into the 21st century and making things to where it's easier for you as coaches and for your clients and for everybody else that wants to get on these transformation calls and wants to share it along with, with a recorded version. So, there's a lot of ways things that we are working behind the scenes to where that will make it happen in reality to where it will be a lot easier. And again, everybody's not good with, I'm still learning with Facebook. There's so much to learn, but I just take it one bite at a time and I don't overwhelm myself and I just kind of see what I can do and the kind of things that I can do. So don't take this as, oh man, I've got to get out there and I got to really do this or my business is going to, fail. We're giving another added feature that can really help. And that's what we brought Ben on, is because this is something that can really guide you guys in a positive way and really start influence people that maybe you've went to high school with and you haven't seen in years. And they can get on the call and you can follow up with them. Hey, what'd you think of the call? So I say this a lot, it is follow-up, but that's key. Key is follow-up. And with anything we do and with the calls we do, that's the bigger part, is we're trying to really, show people what they can really have. You got anything else, Bri?
No. Just that I'm excited about the possibilities. I think the possibilities could be big. And one thing I have looked at, and I'm actually on a text right now with some of my leaders, kind of looking at see what other people have done. But I want to look at something that's not going to cost much money, that we can do as a group, where we can actually see results. So I've always looked for that in the last 14 years that I've been in this, and I've spent. I think I'm not out on a limb here. I've spent more than anyone has spent in Take Shape for Life, maybe outside of what Dr. Anderson's done. I've put a lot of money in different things. So I'm looking at these boost things and spending $5, $10, things like that. And then you get these likes coming in. You've got all these different things happening. One thing again, though, I'm looking at it because I want to see what it can get me for, cost per client, basically. Because I have to look at this as obviously, we all have to look at this as a business. I am definitely willing to invest money. I always have been. And I think if you find something that works, you might as well be investing into it. I'll give you an example. If you went ahead and invested in something that cost you $100 and you got one client, would it be worth it? How many people every day of the week would do that? I would, because your $100 you get back the first month. The next month you got 20 clients that you're working with, and you just made $2,000. So it makes common sense. But most of us don't think that way. I want to get people in this business thinking a little bit more like a business instead of like a hobby. In business, you have to spend 80% to make 20.
Does anybody have questions on, I know it's a little bit overwhelming in some ways, but I just want to kind of make sure that, does anybody have any questions on really how to share the invite? Anybody? No? Maybe?
Yeah, we have like 10 minutes left, so if we do have questions, Ben's our expert here.
Is he still here?
Is he?
Yeah, Ben's still here. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Yep.
I have a question. So if we have a private page, a business page, so which one are we sharing on?
So, okay, so what you want to do is, and what we're trying to do is, from the Habits Health Connection, we would share from that to your business page to your profile. You follow me? So you've got Habits Health Connection, and then you got your business page that you have, and then you've got your profile, which is yourself. So the thing that Ben was talking about is that analytic wise, and basically looking at people that are, you want to see your demographic of people and who's, who, if a person's sharing this or what the stats are. That's what a page does. And it's a little more, in some ways it can be a little more busy, busy in that way, but it really captures the audience. And so that's really what, you have your business page and then you have your own profile. So that's your personal.
Okay, so the profile and the that's the same, and then the business page is separate. Okay.
Right. So mine's Habits Health Connection. Yours might be Rita Got Health, whatever, right? So that would be a business page, and then you'd have your own profile. So the reason why you do that is because as you share it, it grows and it hits more people.
Okay.
Instead of just hitting streamline, you're actually hitting everywhere. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay. Got it.
It's a lot more effective.
Thank you, Troy.
Okay, Carolyn, you're muted or unmuted. So.
Well, I was just going to say I years ago actually got a Forever Slim page, which is my business page, but I've never done anything with it because I've always just used my personal page. And then when we got the habits, when we got the client page, and all these different groups, I just kind of fell into that. And I've never done anything with my business page, although I do see people will come on and they've viewed it somehow because they must see it on the side of my personal page.
Yes.
So there's no action on it. There's nothing on my business page, if that makes any sense.
Well, and that's okay, because what we want to do is we want to say, and I don't know how many likes you have on it, but
Not that many. I've never focused on it before because I've always just kind of made my personal page I don't post a ton of personal stuff on my own personal page. I leave it for Take Shape for Life because I was finding that, at least the way it was when I set it up like 2-3 years ago, seemed like I could get in there and post on it very easily. I know they've changed a lot since then.
right.
So between all the private pages and the Meltdown Challenge and all of the pages that we're on, I just thought, well, I mean, sharing's pretty easy on your own personal page. You just share it,
Well, and again, it's and the reason why Ben's kind of talking about that, and we've actually been, Brian, I've been working with Ben for the last 3 weeks, and what we're finding is that as he's running numbers and different things, and as he's showing me what you can change this, you can change that, it makes a difference, and I'm starting to grow my audience. So what really happens is that as you share from, say you go Habits of Health and you share the event and you share it to your page, Carolyn, and then you share it to your profile, there is you basically can see all the stats of who's looking. So maybe your demographic, it might be female, like mine for Habits of Health Connection is female from like 35 to 64, I think.
You can't do that on a personal. They don't let you do that. You have to have a business page.
Yep.
Right?
So that's why.
Doesn't it cost money? Isn't it? I mean, to have a business page doesn't cost money, or yes? No.
It's free.
It is free.
It is free.
Okay, well, maybe one of these times we'll do a little thing. You can show me what you're talking. I've already got a business page. I've just never activated it, so to speak.
So this is the thing and this is why, I mean, I didn't want to get too much into, the logistics of a page and everything. I don't want to confuse like, oh, wow, Troy's talking about this and that, and I don't really understand. I want to make it somewhat simple, but in the long term of things, you want to be effective on what you're doing. You want to know if that post that you just posted, if that was effective. If it keeps going down and down and down because the fact that you're not being effective, then that makes sense. That's why you're, with a profile, with just your profile, you can't see the numbers. You can't see any of that. So
nobody can on private pages, right?
No, they can't.
Okay, well, that's something I didn't know. So thank you.
So they're actually able to, and again, I give kudos to Ben because Ben is, that guy is, I mean, he's pretty incredible. So I'm looking at the different things that we can do at Coach to Health because this is important. This is what will really make a difference. There has been coaches that have grown their business just off Facebook. So, you kind of look at the things that you can do and how you can share it in the different ways. it's important to, take that understanding and maybe take a little bit each day. And as you build, you're starting to learn more. And so,
well, I agree with Brian though, that it's really about the relation. I mean, Facebook's great, but I do know that, in order for someone to be on like Unite to Wellness, they have to friend you. So of course you friend all your clients and everyone, in the beginning, like we've all been doing. And we all see each other's posts because a lot of us are friends on here, even if we aren't in the same lines of business or whatever. But I never knew that about the business thing. But I still agree with Brian. If you don't have the relationship, all the Facebook posts and the word, it isn't going to matter.
Absolutely.
Unless you do the follow-up part. So
absolutely. Now, I agree with you, Carolyn, too, because, you kind of look at the things you can do and what you're wanting to create. Facebook is just so big that it's kind of like we've got to kind of start breaking it down because of the 21st century where we're at. Everything's kind of moving to that way. So, we look at everything of what, again, we still want to connect with our clients, with our potentials, everybody. We want to connect with those. But that just gives an added layer of different ways that we can really connect with people. Case in point, I know I had a couple people that, in fact, I have a coach right now that was a year ago. She was on Facebook. She was a friend of a friend. So, and she's actually a coach now. She's been a coach for the last 6 months. So, I didn't know much about Facebook even 6 months ago, as much as I know now. So as we really, develop more skills as a team, and that's why tonight we were really talking about really how we can share. And I kind of got away from the understanding that, the Saturday call, how we can share that, but it's important and how you do that too.
Well, and I think like there's probably, I could probably speak for Brian and you and me and probably several others on the whole hashtag thing. It's always been a little bit confusing to me, So you do a hashtag, okay, what does that mean? Where does it go? And is it a tweet or not? Is it a hash? I've never tweeted. I'm not on Twitter.
I'm not on Twitter or Instagram either, so I don't know much. I just know Facebook's kind of my I guess Facebook for Dummies or whatever. I don't know.
Well, you could be on there all day long on social media and all the platforms and drive yourself crazy. And I just,
Well, for right now, this is all good information, and we'll probably have Ben on again to kind of talk a little bit more. Maybe some of you want to start a business page. That's fine. You can get a hold of Ben on that. We're gonna do some more stuff on this. Like I said, I'm seriously looking into it to see what works. Because I don't like to jump the gun on things. I don't mind jumping the gun on things myself and putting my own money into things because I've done a lot of that. And I've also experimented with a lot of money to do certain things. And it's some things that work. Some things
doesn't sound right, bro. That doesn't sound right.
Experimented. Well, risk. There's always some element of risk when you're talking about money. But I've seen this so far. I've seen it looks like a pretty low risk to get the word out. One thing I'm excited about is looking at like the calls and how we're putting it on Facebook and promoting it. We're getting hundreds of people on there on the calls, and we are getting a lot of coaches off these calls, a lot of clients off these calls. So we have some results that are coming in from people, and that's what we want, right? We all want results. But one thing about it, and I've got to leave here in just a second. It's almost the call's almost over, but that is, if you don't do nothing, you're going to get no results. And another thing is this: people think if they invite somebody once or if they talk to somebody once, that's they weren't interested. People have to hear it 7 times before most people get involved in anything.
Yep.
So please keep that in mind.
Yep.
If you invited some people to the last call, I don't care. Invite them again to this call. Does that make sense? I mean, sometimes we get all these little blocks in our head. It's like, oh, they weren't interested. Oh, they don't want anything to do with it. No, it has nothing to do with that. Because you don't know if they're interested or not. You haven't asked them. You're just dripping on them to see what's going on. But the relationships, as to Carolyn's point, that is the key. So this one thing that I'll say, and then Troy, you can close it up. But that is, if you're building the relationship, if you're just if you're just going to talk to somebody once and then not talk to them again, or if you're just going to post something once or invite them once and then not invite them again, think about what you feel like every time someone does that to you.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yep.
Now go out and invite them again and talk to them again. End of conversation.
All right, guys, it's been 58 minutes. I know you guys have been really patient tonight, and I apologize if we took too much of your time, but I kind of thought this was a little important to maybe follow through with a few of these things. And again, this is recorded, so I'll be putting this up on Coach to Health, so you guys can kind of get that. And that's about it. Anybody else have anything to add? No? Okay, guys. You guys are free to go. It's good seeing everybody, and we will see everybody soon, and hopefully everybody will be listening Saturday morning.